with me and as far as addressing that. And then when people are showing their concern about what I am doing, I just, tell them that, I'm doing okay. And, don't worry about me. Don't project your worries over here. I will tell someone that as well, that you're projecting right now. But as far as keeping me organized, I have a planner. I use my Google Calendar. I have a scheduling app. My therapist holds me accountable. I ask her to hold me accountable. I have accountability partners among my friends. Yeah, I'm just asking people, telling people what I need and what I have going on, and just holding them accountable as I'm asking them to hold me accountable too.
Yeah, and it's important to be able to articulate your needs. Like you're right, Kelly said, ways to articulate your needs is important, because I think a lot of times as artists, as comedians, period, the dirt bikes are out. They're like, listen, they said it's time.
It's beautiful
as artists, they be outside. But yeah, boundaries. I think one of the things that I realized early on through articulating my needs and being able to articulate my needs was like, a lot of times people don't necessarily have the bandwidth to understand how much of yourself is put into art, and how much vulnerability that takes, how much energy that takes, you know what I'm saying? And what that looks like for a person setting my boundary. Oh, you did a show tonight. Yeah, looks like I was having fun, right? But I was having fun, but I exerted so much energy, gave so much of myself to you, opened myself in a way that was vulnerable and, pouring out, not knowing how it'll be received. Yeah, I'm a little tired, right? Well, I'm a lot tired, so I'm gonna lay my ass down somewhere, right? And I think it regenerates, I want to say, the griot culture in our Black community. The necessary of we think of, as a child, I grew up thinking artists and everybody, they're just doing shit for fun, it's not wealth, it's not a career.
Yeah.
And then the notion of artists being a centerfold and necessary contribution to the continuation of our community, and how that should be treated and upheld. Because if the griots ain't gonna tell what is happening now, you know what I'm saying, your computer program ain't gonna matter if I ain't gonna tell how you created it. If I can't story tell, you know what I'm saying, like having the way to express a lot of times. I think we live in a time where I don't think a lot of people, everyone wants to find a way to express, right?
Yes.
It's also like you want it to express with immediate gratification, and that's not always the goal of expression.
Yes.
Right. I love when you said it's less of a validation and more a confirmation, because I feel like validation is that if I put this out there, I need y'all to respond immediately and tell me that I'm good. No, confirmation is to say, I see you.
Yeah.
I see you doing. I see you. You storytelling. I see you singing. I see you doing these things. I'm sorry, I said singing.
Yeah.
That is important and essential. Like you talking about like that notion of expressing your needs, because I don't think a lot of artists express their needs clearly.
Do a lot of artists know what they need? Do artists know what they need? And are you comfortable being honest about what you need? If you're a musician and you got to pay your Pico bill, and you got a gig that's not paying you enough to pay your Pico bill, are you going to tell that, or are you going to be mad that you don't have enough money to pay your Pico bill? How am I supposed to know what you need if you're not telling me? I'm telling you what I need. I'm telling you I need you to learn 7 songs in 7 days. Are you going to tell me that you need 14 days to learn? Like, we just have to be more comfortable being honest with ourselves about what we need, and then communicating that with others. And a good friend of mine, Nadira, she's a wonderful songwriter. She always reminds me to always think about the positive outcome. Don't ever think it's going to be a negative outcome. Just think that it's going to end positively. I think it's just really, we have to spend more time with ourselves and take time to identify what needs are coming up, and then write them down. You don't have to add it. Just write it down and take note. Have a journal. Have somewhere to put your thoughts. I feel like our thoughts are our biggest download sometimes, and we overlook them.
Yeah.
And overthinking is not really a bad thing. But there's a way to process that you know?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I think it's
you were sorry.
Oh no, I was saying I was doing my church. Yeah, I'm here for it. Yes, I was affirming everything you were saying. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, just spending more time with ourselves and identifying what we actually need and being comfortable vocalizing those needs. They say closed mouths don't get fed. That is the truest. I'm realizing as I'm growing as a creative entrepreneur. You have to tell people what you need. You have to.
I think, and also not being afraid of people's reaction to being, because it's something I've always been able to come to a space and be like, I'm gonna tell you right now, this is not conducive to what I need to in the space, or I feel that, or I'm not comfortable with that, right? And some people be like, damn, Sabria can be, abrasive sometimes. I said, no, don't put that word on me. Let's be honest. I'm expressing what I need in this space. I'm also giving room for you to express what you need. It's the same thing I do with my kids who come into my space. Whether I'm a teaching artist, whether I'm an educator, I'm like, hey, let's talk. You want this from me, but I need this from you. What's the compromise? But I think, like you said, people are not engaged with themselves because a lot of people are walking with this imposter syndrome, this insecurity that gets projected. It's like, we can't have an honest conversation. What?
You mentioned the instant gratification, and unfortunately, we are using systems every day that promote our businesses, share our likeness, and tap into our fan base or our clientele. And we're using systems that offer nothing but dopamine hits. Like, anytime somebody likes you, like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And we have to figure out ways to do that for ourselves. Like, how can you provide your own sense of confirmation? How can you provide your own sense of reassurance? How can you provide your own dopamine? Like, what actions are you doing? Are you going to the gym? Because working out provides all of those dopamines, okay? You feel real good working out, or going for a walk, eating different kinds of foods. Maybe you're a foodie and you really love good food. Like, figuring out those things that really, really bring you ultimate joy, and doing those and providing that need for yourself. It really does change how you are externally seeking from others. It changes everything.
Yeah.
And when you're in the and even like, let's say you go somewhere, you realize after the fact, I should have never went to that event. I should have my butt home because I knew I was tired, and I still went. So the next time, remind yourself, write it down. Listen, I participate in herbal arrangements, and sometimes I forget things. I write everything down, okay? Because I will forget that I don't like somebody, and then I'll see them and be like, dang, this is why we not messing, because I don't like you.
I don't like that motherfucker.
I didn't even like you before. I was trying to make myself like you, and I forgot. And you have to just be too, like, just be be honest with yourself about what you need.
But mofos are not honest. I think that's the thing about it. It's like, you got this. I'm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not honest. It's like, I one time had someone come to me and say, Sabria, when you're in a space and you have an attitude and you choose to seclude, or you choose to, like, separate, that really is like very, you can change the whole room in the space. I said, because my people's in tune with me. I said, you mean because I choose to separate myself because I don't want to any negative energy I'm putting out? I'm like, my mama taught me, if I ain't got nothing else to say, remove yourself, Sabria. Go sit somewhere, Sabria. You know what I'm saying?
Minding my business.
Minding
your business.
Minding your business. I think it's also allowing people don't understand that they can be multifaceted in art and all these things. Like you said, I feel like sometimes I'm very warm. Y'all can see that from me. I'm very warm and, like, conversational, but sometimes I get very, like, I'm gonna go sit by myself for a minute, you know what I'm saying? And I have no problem being like, deuces, you know what I'm saying? Or being like, yes, I'm not here for it, right? And I have no problem also being emotional in that, right? Because I'm the one who has to live this life. I'm the one who put the art out. I'm the one who has to do this, right? And your concern, because I'm not upholding you or making you comfortable, is not my responsibility. But that is something that I'm gonna stop, but I'm gonna say this. When we talk about community, we don't talk about, a lot of times, yes, we talk about how hyper independence, right, can get us in trouble when trying to create a community, organize community. I admit that, yes. But but independence is a part of community. You and your individual gifts and purpose and being was put into your community for a reason. So understanding that and being in tune with that makes you. My favorite phrase, I always say it to my kids, is Ubuntu. I am because we are. So what I do is a reflection of what's happening in my community. But also what my community does reflects back onto me. And I have to understand those two folds, right? Not mom, not drink your water and mind your business. My mom is TikTok.
Because mom is right. Because mom is correct. And you know what? If you're drinking water, you'll be in the bathroom so much you won't have time to mind nobody else's business. And you'll be hydrated.
Exactly. You think about when you get out the bathroom. That's what you gotta do, y'all. Because I'll be in the bathroom all the time. I can come back like, what did I miss? What happened? And I said, I don't care about that part. Move that over. They're like, that's not good to you. Move that. You know. But then my answers be on my shoulder, be like, Sabria. I swear my answers be on my shoulder like, mind your business, Sabria, because my Aquarius be ear hustle like, that happened.
Listen,
that really happened.
That's my dad. My dad is from heaven, like, Jah, you know that's none of your business. That's why this happened to you, because you was minding somebody's business. Yep. But I love that. I love the protection of my angels, my ancestors, my random angels that just come out of nowhere when I need someone. Sometimes we need reminders to mind our own business. But I also think that we can advocate for others to speak up for themselves and to vocalize their needs by being what you said, being emotional, being visible. And honestly, from what I received from you, because I'm doing my own self-work, you were setting boundaries. That's all I heard. You were setting clear boundaries as to what you need when you're in a certain space. And some people may be like, boundaries? Girl, why are you creating a border? What you talking? And it's like, yeah, I have boundaries. And I'm now comfortable to tell you what they are. And then they're going to be like, do I need boundaries? Yes, you probably do. And so I think that what you're doing is leading by example, which I admire. And there's been times where I've been at an entire performance, I'm in the corner meditating on the floor.
Period.
It's
like I got
energetic. Yep.
Yeah.
I just need it. And somebody be like, I saw you. I'm like, yeah, I just need to center myself because it's been a long day, you know, and that's okay to do. And I love that you were doing that. And then we shouldn't have shame to show our emotions. Now, being constructive about how we express ourselves, that is important, which is why it's really important that we all tap into something creatively that feeds us. Maybe you want to do something with your hands, maybe getting into gardening or knitting or crocheting or henna drawings, or maybe just simply like massaging your hands, like figuring out what creative things you can do that feed that desire. And another thing I wanted to say is, like, people once again don't really know who they are sometimes in those spaces. So they don't know how to show up. And you can't ask people to hold you accountable to support your boundaries if you don't know what that is, or if you don't know how you want to show up. And that was one of my biggest struggles. I kept wanting to show up the way that everyone else wanted me to. And within the past, I would say 2 years, I started showing up the way that I see myself, like the way I envision my future self when I'm meditating and I see myself in the field of sunflowers on a farm that I own. That is who I'm trying to get to. And so in order for me to do that, I have to keep that vision in line. And so I can't care about the fact that someone thinks that I should shave my eyebrows because Erykah Badu did it. It's like, that has nothing to do with it. That's not my problem. Yes. And it's like, but I can't. 4 years ago, the other job would have been like, oh, well, are you sure? And it's like, I was trying to figure out who I wanted to be. I was trying to figure out who I was showing up as. I was conflicted because I had so many pieces of me that wanted to show up, and I had to fit it into this one box. And I'm not a box chick. I'm just not. It's too much to fit in the box. I'm too great for a box. You know what I'm saying?
It's a lot. If you got hips and thighs like me, I'm not doing it. I'm not.
Girl, okay.
I'm not doing it.
Girl.
I think that was my mom one time. As a mom said, you know, how have I changed? You know, recently, you know, and she was like, "Well, Spirit, you're a lot more assertive." Because I was always a very sweet kid. I'd be like, "Yes, ma'am, I'll do that.
Yeah,
yes, I'm gonna do that." You know, and then recently I'd be like, I'm not doing that. I'm not.
Yeah.
I was at a family barbecue and I said, they were like, Sabria, you disappeared for 5 hours. I said, yeah, I took a nap. I was talking to my boo. I was chilling. I was in air conditioning and I came back out.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I helped set up. I said, Mama, I'm going to your room. I'll be back. Bye. And they was like, yo, you don't want to hang out with the family? I said, yeah, I want to hang out with the family, but I'm not sitting. No, if I don't, my energy's like, listen, I want to go to sleep.
Yep.
Not boss.
And I love your mom.
That's not what you said.
Your mom energy. Yes, I love it. But that's important to advocate for yourself and what you need. And I love that Kelly said to not let hate or demand dictate you. I feel as though we can get a lot of pressure from Instagram, a lot of pressure from our peers that we see doing things that we may want to do. Mm-hmm. And we look at ourselves and go, like, what am I doing? And it's like, but you're doing what you want to do. Like, you're doing what you are choosing to do every day. You don't know what that person is doing to be where they're at. Have you spoken to them? Have you asked them, like, what is their day to day? Like, you need to figure out, like Rihanna, for example. I researched Rihanna because I wanted to know what was her day to day. How does she spend days? Her whole day is like voice lessons, dance lessons, photo shoots, all these things. But like the preamble before that was like hours of rehearsal a day, hours of voice lessons, hours of recording studios before she gets pretty. Like, there's a process, and the beginning stages are not fun. And you mentioned some people can look at us and go, oh, they having fun. It took a lot of work for me to get to having fun on stage. It was a lot of hard work for me to enjoy all of this shit. Okay.
Yes. I said, you ain't see, you don't see with the setup. You don't see, the memorization. You don't see all that shit. You just like, oh God. You're like, that was a great performance. You're like, I bet it was. It better show a bit.
Yep. Yeah. People don't see that, but you need to see that, and you need to recognize that. Like, you may record yourself practicing and then just save it. You don't have to post it. Another thing that I also like to preach, people need to pay to be up in your business. I'm a Scorpio. I'm very private. People need to sometimes compensate you to be up in your business. Start a Patreon. If you want to share all your business and all your tricks and trades, start a Patreon. Have people support you so they can see your process. And so also you get value now. You're not just throwing stuff out there for likes and shares and mentions. No. Come on. I'm showing you how I'm building blocks to this end product. And if you want to support this end product, sign up for my Patreon. You can literally charge someone $1 to support you a month. $1 goes a long way.
Exactly.
Right? So just be more intentional with what you're doing, which once again is like, do you know what it is that you want and what you're doing?
Yeah. And believe in that, and believe and do the work, people. This is what gets on my skin. It's also because as an Aquarius and a Scorpio, we all about like, all right, did you do the work? If you ask me a stupid question about how it got done, I'm like, but did you research that? Did you heal that? Did you go into that? Because when I was self-published, I was like, I have people being like, so Sabria, how can I do? I was like, it's all information there. I told you what you can do.